Good afternoon. I'm Julie Granger, President of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. JA is thrilled to bring our 4th annual Young Entrepreneur Live competition to you today. At Junior Achievement, we believe in the boundless possibility of young people. But we also know that too many young people grow up unprepared to make good financial decisions. We know how important it is to prepare young people now for a prosperous financial future, including equipping them with the skills to own their own businesses and create jobs. The knowledge JA volunteers share and the inspiration they provide ultimately leads to more young people living an abundant and fulfilling life as an adult. We are incredibly proud of all the students who submitted businesses for this competition. The 4 finalists selected each had unique qualities and merits that allowed them to rise to the top. We've enjoyed getting to know each of them, and we think you will too. Thank you for watching. Now please help me welcome our MC from our media partner Fox 6 Milwaukee, Mary Stoker-Smith.
Thank you, Julie, and good afternoon. What a special day it is. I am thrilled. I'm absolutely delighted to be here with all of you to celebrate some of the brightest student entrepreneurs across our state. Today, we have four entrepreneurs who have risen to the top and have already showcased their innovation, leadership, and growth potential. So, over the next hour, you're going to get to know them individually and their successes. Each will present in front of a panel of local celebrity judges, and they do it with such ease, with such skill. And they ought to, because there's a lot on the line. One finalist will walk away with a $10,000 scholarship, and the remaining 3 finalists will each receive a $1,500 scholarship. I also want to share that we will have a Viewer's Choice Award brought to you by Baker Tilly, and this particular award will be decided by none other than you, our viewers. The finalist who receives the most votes will receive an additional $500 cash prize after the completion of the competition. Be sure to check out the event chat or Junior Achievement of Wisconsin's social accounts for the voting link. Voting will close at midnight tomorrow. Hard deadline, so you got to get those votes in. All right, let's get the party started. Let's get on with the show. I'd like to introduce you to our judges who have graciously joined us today to lend their expertise. So first, we are thrilled to have him back again this year. We have Greg Marcus, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Marcus Corporation. As the leader of Marcus Theaters and Marcus Hotels and Resorts, he knows a thing or two about guest experience, about hospitality, and exactly what it means to put your name to a company. You see him on the big screen there when you go to the movies. Oh yeah, he knows all about that. And next we have Jennifer Abele. Jennifer is founder and managing partner of venture capital firm VC414. As a venture capitalist and angel investor, Jennifer invests in entrepreneurs who are building products to advance socioeconomic prosperity. So important to our future. We're so excited to have everybody along. And we also have with us Al Arakay, Senior Vice President and Director of Consumer, Private, and Business Banking at Johnson Financial Group. Prior to joining Johnson Financial in 2021, he spent over 22 years with JP Morgan Chase. Al is passionate about giving back to the community where he lives and where he works. And finally, and we might need a drum roll here, we have fan favorite and the fabulous Denise Thomas, President and owner of the Effective Communication Coach. After almost 20 years of experience with Fortune 500 companies, Denise now focuses on transforming emerging and existing professionals into leaders by mastering the art of effective communication. What an all-star lineup that is. Again, thank you, judges, for volunteering your time today and for sharing your wisdom and your passion about entrepreneurship. Now I want to introduce you to one of today's sponsors, BMO, who will help introduce our finalists.
Greetings, I'm John Schumacher, Managing Director at BMO. On behalf of BMO, I'm pleased to join you as a sponsor of the Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live Competition. At BMO, we are driven by a single purpose, to boldly grow the good in business and life. Inspired by our purpose and energized by the opportunity to drive positive change, we are working with our customers, our employees, and the communities that we serve to create a thriving economy, a sustainable future, and an inclusive society. The young entrepreneurs before us today are part of the good BMO is proud to invest in. BMO would like to wish all of today's finalists the best of luck. Your futures are already so bright. Now, let's meet our first finalist.
It's a skill that calls for precision. With a needle and thread, you can make just about anything. Simply ask 16-year-old Kaylee Lamers.
I looked up videos on how to hand sew, and then I just got some felt off of Amazon, and then I started sewing it.
Her self-taught journey began at age 11 with toys for her cats that led her mom to buy a sewing machine for a Christmas gift. After Grandma taught the basics, she was off.
And then once I got my sewing machine, I started making pot holders and dog collars.
Stitches and Sweets was born. Her creations now include tote bags, pillows, even memory bears made of clothing for people who have passed. Her skills have brought some playful jabs from friends.
They kind of think that I'm like an old lady, I guess.
She's laughing all right, all the way to the bank.
In 2022, I was at $900 profit, and this last year I made over $6,400 profit, so it has jumped a lot in the past year.
As her inventory improves, so do her business skills, making the smart decision to sell chocolate chip cookies to cover farmers market fees.
They're cheap to make, and I sell out pretty quickly, so I use that to maintain my profit margin on my sewn items.
The brilliant teen currently has products in 3 stores and has her weekends booked at markets throughout the summer. All of this while juggling high school and sports. Her biggest challenge now? Keep up with demand.
Just building up inventory is one of my biggest challenges with the amount of time that I have, but I'm able to make it work.
It's that pesky school always getting in the way.
Maybe most impressive, this isn't a skill that's been passed down.
I just assumed you would all be sewers.
Absolutely not.
Mom Carrie says her daughter's success is credit to her attitude and hard work.
She's somewhat quiet, she's driven, she's determined, and she'll give her all. If she's after something and if anyone's going to doubt her, I think she's going to go after it even some more.
Her passionate creations stitching up her most impressive feat yet, Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live finalist, hoping her one-of-a-kind creations help close out the competition. Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
Hi judges, I'm Kaylee Lamers. I love to sew and bake. Stitches and Sweets started as a creative outlet for me, but quickly turned into a business as the popularity of my sewn items grew. My products are currently available at 3 local retailers, farmers markets, and seasonal events. In 2020, when my only product was cat toys, my profit for the year was $60. In 2021, I earned $700 profit by expanding my product line to include pot holders, dog bandanas, and dog collars sold through Facebook. In 2022, I made $900 profit. In 2023, I again expanded my product line to also include pillows, feed sack animals, memory bears, tote bags, and ornaments. I also expanded my market presence by selling at vendor events and in stores. These efforts led to a profit of about $6,400 last year. A few strategies I use to maximize my profitability include increasing my prices at retail locations to cover the cost of commission, and using fabric scraps to make cat toys, key wristlets, and ornaments. My business faced its biggest challenge when the owner of Sweet Pea LLC, a retailer of home and garden decor, approached me with a request for 150 custom stuffed farm animals made from vintage feed bags. I had never sewn anything like this before, and the order needed to be completed in a short amount of time. I had to develop a pattern for each animal type, make sure the product fit her expectations of quality, and ensure my profitability. I delivered the product on time and on budget, and they were a huge sales success for her. This experience taught me a lot about the importance of good communication by meeting with her routinely, presenting prototypes for approval, and updating her on the progress of the order. I also had to learn to effectively manage my time as I create and sew every stitch while also being a busy high school student. From this experience, I also gained confidence to grow and improve my business in other ways, such as creating new items. My newest items are memorial items. When losing a loved one, it can be very stressful deciding what to do with their belongings. I communicate with families to repurpose their clothing into bears, bags, or ornaments. Holding onto a memory in a tangible way has brought great comfort to my clients. I have also improved how I market my business. In the last year, I created a Facebook page, which in the past 2 months has gone from 120 followers to 450, purchased business cards, printed a large banner with my logo to display in vendor spaces, and added my social media information to my price tags. My goal for this year is to double my profit from 2023. Future growth includes selling in additional retail locations, increasing custom orders, and expanding into new markets such as Etsy. Future investments include developing a website, taking a college course on business management, and purchasing additional equipment to expand my sewing skills. I would like to thank you all for your time and allowing me to present what Stitches and Sweets has to offer. Thank you.
Kayla, this is incredible. Just hearing your story, it's very fulfilling just from a consumer standpoint. So congratulations on all your success. The biggest opportunity that I'm hearing through what you shared is supply chain, especially as it relates to inventory management and fulfilling customer orders. You had a big custom order that I'm sure played a major role in your significant profit margin growth. What are some of the things that you're doing to be able to respond to even more custom orders? Because as your products continue to be more accessible, how are you going to manage additional demand of custom orders?
So with my products, I have patterns that I have to trace onto fabric, and then I cut them out. And if demand becomes very large, then I could maybe delegate that out to someone else, hire an employee to possibly trace my patterns onto the fabric and cut that out for me, so that I'm able to focus on the sewing aspect of the business and make sure that quality product goes out the door.
Thank you.
I'll go next. Thank you so much. Really enjoying learning about your products. They're really beautiful. I love my new Memphis, very caliente. So thank you for the gift. My question for you is, usually when our firm looks at companies, we look at the margin of each product. And so, and advise the entrepreneur to focus on the highest margin products. So I'm curious, of the things that you've developed to date, what has the highest margin and what has the lowest margin?
The highest margin product that I currently sell is the memory bears. My profit margin is about 80%. And then my lowest profit is on those feed sack animals because I sold them wholesale to that retailer. I managed about 65% on those.
Thank you.
Can I try my cookie?
Yes.
Okay, it looks really good. I'm a bit of a cookie monster, so I'm an expert in cookies.
I'll join you, Greg.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
It does remind me.
That's a great idea.
It does. I sort of wonder about what is the link between your sewing work and your products and your cookies, which I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, they're really good. I'm gonna give you that.
I sell my products at vendor events in the summer, and sometimes they can range from $20 to set up a spot there up to $50. So I make the cookies because they're a minimal cost to make and they sell out fast. So I make those to cover that cost so that I'm able to maintain my profit margin on my sewn items.
But at some point, do you think that you're going to you'll have enough sales of your main product that you're not going to have to bake any more?
Correct.
And you think you can hire people to scale the business?
Yes, I believe I can.
What's the part that needs the most involvement from you? The sewing?
Yes, because I would like to make sure that the product going out the door is up to my quality standards. And I think that if I do that work, then everything will be how I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee, first of all, I applaud you. Starting this at 11 years old and how you've stayed innovative and continued to get creative with your products and expanding that. Clearly, it's helped you grow your profits over the last 3 years, so fantastic job.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you talked about how you started this out as a creative outlet, but then at some point transitioned that into a business. What was that pivotal point? When did you know like you had something here that could potentially grow into a business?
Okay, so I began sewing when I was making cat toys for my own cats, and then family and friends started asking if I could sew items for them, such as the pot holders, which is where I got started with those. Once I got my machine, I started sewing the pot holders, And then once families started purchasing them, I realized that I could start selling these. So we have an annual rummage sale, and I sold items at that rummage sale, and it made me realize that this could become a business. So in the past year, I've really grown my product line and where I am selling. So that has helped turn this into a true business.
That's great. Fantastic. I also just want to comment the fact that you're staying open-minded and taking some courses to continue to grow so you can stay up to speed with your client demand. So nice work.
Thank you.
Now, Kaylee, as a fellow entrepreneur, you were speaking my love language because as you were talking, I was like, first of all, let me just take another bite of your delicious cookie.
That's right.
This is so amazing because I appreciate the fact that you recognize e-commerce as another revenue generator. You're going to be in demand because everything that is on that wall and that screen, people need. I'm feeling comfort. So as you are developing your website and you're going into the e-commerce market, how are you going to coincide that with hiring people so that whatever demand increases from the e-commerce platform, you're able to fulfill?
I think that if I started an online platform, I would definitely increase my prices so that I'm able to pay an employee to cut out my designs, and then I would be able to pay them a good wage while also getting enough profit in my pocket.
Love it. These cookies are amazing. I can't stop. I'm supposed to be not eating sugar, Kaylee. What are you doing to me? Delicious.
They are really good.
They are great. Kaylee, just kind of following on what Denise asked, eventually your business will grow so large that you won't be able to do all of the sewing yourself. Have you looked into contract manufacturers or anything like that would help you scale the business to be larger?
I have not looked into that yet, but I'm open to researching more about that.
Okay.
How much of your time is it taking every week? Let's say on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis, I would say about 40 hours a week.
Full-time job.
I'm spending all of my hours after school up until I go to bed sewing and fulfilling custom orders and getting ready for markets.
That takes determination, just like what your mom said, so that's great. I wanted to ask you just a follow-up question. As Mary mentioned, I'm very passionate about the experience we create for clients, and regardless of the products or services that you offer. I'm curious, what kind of response are you getting from clients? Clearly, they're ordering more, and the demand is growing. But what testimonials or what feedback have you gotten from clients?
My clients like that my products are handmade fully and that the patterns are trending and go with current things that they might have in their home. And they also like that I offer a personal touch, like the memory bears, that I'm able to make personalized items such as those.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kaylee. Congratulations. We're really proud of you. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
Wow, a pretty impressive start to the competition. Super work, Kaylee. I am now pleased to introduce our next finalist, Truman McNitt.
Leave it to an 11-year-old
Well, first we started with cotton candy.
to make your mouth water
Then we did Skittles.
with a list of candy.
Then we moved to freeze-dried gummy worms, freeze-dried nerd clusters.
If a sugar rush doesn't sound like serious business to you, try explaining that to Truman McNitt of Kohler. The sixth grader's smile-inducing empire has been steadily growing since age 10.
I'm like, hey mom, I like how you made your own business. Like, I kind of look up to you as my role model. Can you help me start one? She's like, sure, why not?
His big idea was actually sitting in their house the whole time.
I'm like, well, we have a cotton candy machine. We have this basic stuff that we need to start a shop.
Just like that, Sugar Twist Trinkets was born. After first spinning cotton candy at his sister's daddy-daughter dance, Truman upgraded his equipment, moved into a shed in the backyard, eventually outgrowing that area as well, moving the operation to his mom's office.
I'm like, get this out of here. It's my spot now.
Today, the middle schooler's business is booming, along with his array of products.
We make like freeze-dried charcuterie boards now.
Selling products online and in his pop-up toy store he created inside his mom's Sheboygan business. Not bad for a kid juggling school, football, and friends. The company's best decision may have been to add trinkets into the product.
We decided to do it because they don't put them in cereal boxes anymore.
He thrives off of seeing people smile and enjoy themselves, and he's such a people person.
All of this has made his family so proud.
He has so much energy and enthusiasm. I think the thing that really impresses me the most about Truman is his very, very big heart.
Truman is quick to point out he comes from a long line of entrepreneurs, including family members who revolutionized products like the sink and toilet seat. His idea is much sweeter.
We try to make people happy, give them a place where they're allowed to eat candy.
It has spun him his most impressive treat yet, Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live finalist.
Where do you see the company going in the future?
The thing I want to answer to that is just big.
The bigger the better.
Yeah, the bigger the better.
Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
Hi, my name is Truman McNitt, and I'm 11 years old. My business is Sugar Twist Trinkets, the cotton candy with the trinket in it. We've had this business for a little over a year now, and it sure has been an adventure because we started at my school's daddy-daughter dance, and it quickly grew to so much more. As our business began to grow, so did our want and need for more trendy options. And as freeze-dried candy hit America with so much force, we decided to hop on the bandwagon and try it out. Our favorite part of this company is seeing the smile on people's faces when they get handed a big fluffy cone of cotton candy or this really cool freeze-dried candy they've heard all about. Our goal is to put at least $3,500 away annually into an investments account. Besides the occasional video game purchase, I like to give back to the community, like how I've given lots of our stuff to our school's concession stand to help with many school activities. We've also donated toys for the Sheboygan's Foster Care Christmas Toy Drive, and we've donated our time to spin at the Sheboygan's Community Food Pantry. Now, since we have commercial licensing, we are able to sell our products to many other places and also team up with other companies and sell our products there. And we'd like to see our products in the Marcus movie theaters and Culver's cement mixers. As I grow older, I can take on much more responsibility by selling and buying more products and investing our stuff into more of our business and more opportunities. Thank you.
Truman, hey, great work. First of all, your cotton candy was delicious. Thank you for that. You talked about making people happy. You made me happy this morning. I really appreciate for the treat. I got to tell you, one of the things that resonated with me in the video, it was just like in every image, you were just happy. You were smiling. And so it's clear that you really enjoy what you're doing. You also mentioned that you love seeing people happy. Clearly, you made me happy this morning. You give back. You sound like you already have that servant leadership attitude. Why is that so important for you?
Well, lots of people sacrifice lots of stuff for us and people they love, so we decide that we will sacrifice some of our stuff, some of our money to help the community grow even more.
I love that. Denise and I were talking about, the importance of serving others and and adding value in people's lives. Clearly, you're doing that. And then my last question for now is, I see the sweets, delicious. Can you explain to me what this trinket is?
So basically, it's like some weird thing. He is very interested in it.
Apparently, Greg has had some practice.
I love it.
He's just a big kid.
That is
Right.
I'm having a lot of fun with this. Do I get to keep this? It's going to sit on my desk.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got to introduce that in one of your videos.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to be playing with it in one of your movie commercials.
That's excellent. I get it now. Thank you for the demonstration, Greg. Appreciate that.
Oh, I have to stop?
Truman, let me just say this as someone who loves to speak. Your energy, your authenticity, the way that you can connect, and that's another thing that Al and I were speaking about, is it's one thing to have an incredible products, which you do. Your portfolio is amazing. Your sense of relating and connecting with people is so powerful. And the fact that you're 11, and what I'm noticing is that when you don't have the note cards and you're just being Truman, it not only comes out in the product, but it comes out within your energy. So I just want to underscore that you have a gift, you have a skill that most adults, let alone 11-year-old future leaders, don't have. And that is the ability to not only have a product that connects, but also the energy that does. So keep doing that. For my question, and I love how you threw out the shout out to both Culver's and Marcus Hotels. That was genius too. My question is, as you are putting your profits in an investment fund, which I think that's great as well, how are you allocating funds outside of that investment to continue to scale your business and really expand your product placement?
Well, since cotton candy is easy, it costs not a lot. We can just get that for some cheap money on Amazon or in Walmart or other shops, and just spin that, make some more, invest it, put some back in the company, and basically like a rinse and repeat.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Truman, thanks so much. I'm really inspired by your vision for the company and how young you were when you started it. One of the things that I loved in your video was your vision to make this really big. So my question for you is, how big? Big like Hershey's or Mars? Like how big? And do you have a vision for who might eventually buy your brand in the future so that you can cash out?
Yeah, so we are trying to grow like really big, get maybe factories, and it's really easy to get workers because it's easy to, you just need a freeze drying machine to make freeze dried candy. You just need like a spinner and some sugar, and it's really easy to pick up on. So we can grow really fast by hiring more people because it's really a skill that anyone can learn and pick up on.
Yeah, so I like what you're saying. You're thinking about it as a way for people to get an entry into the workforce who maybe aren't high skilled, and then they have a foot in the door and maybe can grow in their career and into other areas of the company. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, this candy is delicious, and I'm an expert. I've eaten a lot of candy. I know what I'm talking about. What is freeze-dried candy? Like, what is this?
So basically, there's a lot of different ones. Like, I believe you're eating the Skittles right now.
I think you're right.
And it all basically works the same. It's just more time or less time, but it like freezes them to temperatures to like -14, and then it like heats it up really quickly, and then it puffs up, and while it's heating, it also like draws the moisture out of it, and it makes it like crunchy, like how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, much easier on my teeth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, have you thought about what we could sell it for in a theater if we were going to sell it? And so you could make some money too?
Yeah, so at the moment we are selling it at $6 and 2 for $10, and for you to sell it in the theater or someone else, it's really up to you what you think the fair price would be.
What would you sell to me for?
Well, I think I would sell it.
I'll buy a lot.
I'd sell you the products for like $6 for the thing, or you could talk me in to something else, bargain for something else.
So you're saying you'll cut me a deal?
Give them your best offer, Greg.
If you were to buy 1,000 bags of it, what would be the price per bag then?
Well, if you were buying 1,000 bags, which, wow, thank you, maybe instead of $6, like $3 per bag or something.
So Truman, let's say Mr. Marcus calls you and says, let's do it. I love the pitch. I'm looking at your financials, and thank you for sharing this. Depreciated assets. So it looks like the cotton candy machines, the freeze dryers, the shed, there is a huge dependency or reliance on these critical assets in terms of producing. I know in the world of technology, it's just rapidly changing. So do you have a plan in place to make sure that you have the latest and greatest equipment so that when Mr. Marcus calls and says, yes, I want 1,000, you've got everything you need to make sure that you can fulfill that order?
So what we did is, luckily we have a website so we can sell more, and like I said earlier, we do have a commercial license now, so we're able to sell to way more places, way more people. We can get more money, and we can sell more things, and basically just do a whole lot more. And we can use that money, like I said earlier again, put some of that into an investment and some of it back into the business.
Thank you. I just love you. I really do. This is amazing.
Truman, two things I'm passionate about is people, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, and the experience you're creating for people. I'm also passionate about performance and making sure that your business is thriving, and I know you have a very strong positive profitability here. And I also love that you're taking some of that and donating it, which is great. But let's talk a little bit about margins. You have quite a few products that you sell. You know, which of your products is the most popular, and more importantly, which ones are offer you the best margins?
Well, the most popular ones are the honey ones.
Okay.
And those sell out quite quickly when we put them up.
So that's a big ticket item, right? So
yeah.
And then which ones, as you think about like how much it costs you to make one of the products, and then how much it costs you to sell a product, you know, when you take that into consideration, which of those products are you making the biggest return, like where you have the most margins?
Well, like I said, the freeze-dried candy is the most popular, but we do get the most money from cotton candy tubs. And one thing I forgot to say is now we make we spin at birthday parties, and we make cotton candy birthday cakes, and we can make those, sell those, and they are, and we haven't gotten any of those in a little bit, but they did make us a lot of money.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah. All right, Truman, thank you so much for coming today. We're really proud of you. This has been excellent to hear your story and your vision for the company.
And it's an honor.
I just love him.
Yes.
Thanks, Truman. Heart with his communication.
Yes.
Outstanding, Truman. What a great presentation. You know, you came to leave a sweet impression, and you really did. I can't wait to get at this. But first, a quick reminder to pay close attention to our finalists, as you'll have the opportunity to vote for our Viewers' Choice Award winner. Now, check out the event chat or Junior Achievement social platforms for the voting link. Important that you do that. We're now going to take a special pause for someone I know you're going to be excited to see again. It's like an old friend. We're going to hear from one of our event sponsors, Johnson Financial Group. They have a special follow-up for us in our Where Are They Now feature. Let's catch up with our 2022 winner, Michael Munajed.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Popp, President and CEO of Johnson Financial Group. And we are proud again this year to sponsor Junior Achievement's Young Entrepreneur Live competition. Today we're going to take a look back at one of our prior winners, Michael Munajed, who continues to impress.
The last time we spoke with Michael Munajed of Middleton,
I think I could talk about this for hours.
It was hard to comprehend his success. At just 17, he dove headfirst into an industry people triple his age have had a hard time explaining. As the owner of Calcius Mining, Munajed was too young at the time to trade crypto, instead building a business by helping others mine it. His business not only banked him hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit, but something else he now calls priceless.
The judging panel has selected Michael Munajed of Calcius
as champion of Junior Achievement's 2022 Young Entrepreneur Live competition. He wowed the judges.
How have you been?
I've been good. How about you?
2 years later, he's still impressing.
I wanted to be in Texas, or more or less, I wanted to be in a place that I saw where I could keep building startups.
Munajed is now a freshman at Rice University in Houston, where he's on an engineering track with applied math combined with business and computer science. He says his crypto mining company tapped out, instead deciding to come to college with a clean slate that has not stayed empty long. His newest venture, a social media company.
I wanted a way for it to be easier for students to meet each other, and more importantly, to be able to see everything happening on campus at once. So I launched this app with one of my friends here, who's a sophomore right now. We call it Bonfire.
Bonfire allows you to track friends in real time and keep you in the loop of everything on campus. It's already attracted the eyes of investors. As he builds the brand and experiments, his biggest challenge these days, time management.
Yeah, college is no joke.
As 4 new contestants are set to follow in his footsteps, Munajed's advice, soak in the experience.
If you're able to get this far, it meant that you failed and you were able to be successful off of that. And so I would take this opportunity as not really just about the money or not just about the award, but really think about it as an experience and boost up to get you to the next step.
After all, it may be your next idea that catches fire. Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
I think you'll all agree that Michael has a great future in front of him. What a great representation of the young entrepreneurs in our state. Now let's get back to this year's competition.
Simply amazing. How fun to hear from Michael. Now let's meet our third finalist.
When's the last time you thought about how your hands are typing?
I've always been super fascinated with computers.
For high school senior Shamit Sarana of Franklin, he's been obsessing about it for years.
I came to a powerful realization. I realized that keyboards haven't significantly evolved over the last 50 years.
What started as a COVID project to learn computer coding and design led to an aha moment and a path to reinvent the one tool we all use to type.
My business is called Halo Keys, and my first product is the Elemental 75, which is a highly customizable and intelligent keyboard.
So what's wrong with this keyboard? How come that was not any good?
Yeah, so imagine a world where the keyboard understands you as a user. Imagine if that human-computer interface can think about you as a user and understand what your intention is with it.
Sarana says the keyboard uses artificial intelligence to predict and automatically complete repetitive tasks.
The name of the game is efficiency.
It's a concept he's been tweaking as an AI researcher at UWM, tested by crowdsourcing online, and is nearing production of his first 50 prototypes.
Can you keep up with him?
I think
it is a challenge, definitely.
His parents say an interest in running his own business can be traced to endless games of Monopoly they endured when he was a kid. As a teen, he forked over paperwork to keep his business secrets safe.
He came to me bringing NDA. He said because he was only 16, he said, "Mom, can you sign the NDA?" And I'm like, I was surprised. Do you know what NDA is? And he explained it to me.
His best attribute may be his ability to balance, playing varsity soccer, performing in a regional orchestra, and even leading a design thinking course. He created all of it helping Type Out, one of his most impressive feats yet, Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live finalist. He's ready to wow the judges.
Absolutely, I'm definitely pumped.
With a company the rest of us are still trying to compute. Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
Hello, I'm Shamit Sarana. I'm from Franklin High School, and I'm the founder of Halo Keys. Today, I want you to imagine a world where the human-machine interface understands you as a user. Now, imagine a world where your repetitive tasks get completed automatically. Imagine a world where your productivity has increased by 30%. That world is here. Today, I'm extremely excited to present to you the next generation of the human-machine computing interface, the highly customizable and intelligent Halo Keys Elemental 75. The Elemental 75 has been designed from the ground up with active input from a Reddit community of over 1.3 million power users and keyboard enthusiasts. In a survey I conducted of this community, they identified a lack of customizability and a lack of intelligence as major problem areas, leading to the inefficient use of their current input devices. The issue is, today's keyboards haven't evolved in the last 50 years. Looking back to the first computer keyboards, they've been largely ignored in terms of improvements in productivity and efficiency. This drove me to learn CAD, PCB design, embedded programming, and design thinking to develop the Elemental 75. Simultaneously, I evaluated and selected multiple supply chain partners for fabrication. This resulted in a keyboard that has strong community support. I'm thrilled to say that 70% of keyboard enthusiasts rate the Elemental 75 at 8 out of 10 or higher, and 60% show a strong intent to buy. And this was all done with $0 spent on marketing. At the same time, I've had the opportunity to participate in the UWM Ignite Startup Incubator, in which I received a $5,000 grant to fabricate and deploy the first batch of keyboards. This entire journey has been a humbling experience in which I've been able to participate in building a stronger community. I created a social impact arm of Halo Keys called Halo Keys Enrich, in which I teach a design thinking course that aims to empower students to unleash their creativity. I ran the course in partnership with the Milky Way Tech Hub in the city of Milwaukee over summer with 16 students. The course was received extremely well, and I'm working to expand both the course content and the number of students it impacts. My mission is to bring back Milwaukee's rich history of inventiveness. The first typewriter was invented here in Milwaukee, and I invite you to join me in putting Milwaukee back on the map with this next generation of keyboards. Thank you.
Shamit, this is amazing. First and foremost, what is a keyboard enthusiast? What does that mean?
That's a great question. So I don't know if you've ever heard of car enthusiasts, or these are people that love to just work with their keyboard. They like to dissect it, change their keycaps, change their switches, the way the keyboard feels, and really customize it to the utmost degree. The benefit of having a community like this for my first product is they love to give feedback. Typically on a product, you might only receive like really negative reviews or really positive reviews, but these guys go out and say every single thing they feel about the keyboard. If they don't like this, if they don't like that, and it gives me an opportunity to really learn and grow so that I can build a better product. And actually, I'd like to just hand off this keyboard just so all of you can take a look and have a feel at it.
So while you're handing off really quick too, because you spoke my love language. You said that this can help increase my productivity by 30%. How so?
Yeah, so we've done some initial testing with various users in different softwares. And so like, for example, Photoshop, Blender, Premiere Pro, and we found on average that they received a 30% increase in productivity. I can give an example if you'd like. So Mr. Marcus, I'm sure you love a good movie, right?
I do.
Yeah, so.
More than you can imagine.
I know. To make a good movie, you need to be able to edit the movie, right? And so you need to be able to do video editing. And so one of our users, they found that when they were using our keyboard and our software, over time, it was able to learn how they were using their keyboard. So for example, every time they had two clips and they wanted to like conjoin the gap between them and move things around, they would often use the same 3-4 commands in a row. So over time, our keyboard picked up on those commands and it was able to make it into one action key. So all they have to do is when they're on that program, our keyboard will recognize what they're trying to do, and you click the button once and it's able to do those actions for you.
Thank you.
So is the magic of your product the firmware, the underlying software that's powering the keyboard, not the keyboard itself?
Yeah, so I think it's really a collective experience. So the firmware, and if you take a look at the keyboard, it has what we call Halo Keys modules. So if you look at the right side, on the bottom right side, you see that there's like a little OLED screen there. And so these modules can be placed anywhere on the keyboard. You can have multiple modules, and in the future we'll expand it so you'll have touch sensors, you could have some input pads, you could have like Touch ID type of sensor. And so these work in coordination with the software to really bring you a cohesive experience. So for example, take the example of like when they were trying to conjoin the gap. Your keyboard on the display could show you some information about what it thinks you want to do, and it can also give you insights into your usage.
Just following on his question about the software, can you talk a little bit about how it integrates with your operating system, and then can you also talk about, is it portable to other types of devices like a phone or like an iPad keyboard?
Yeah, absolutely. So currently, the way that it works is we have software that lives on the keyboard itself, and it communicates with your computer. So we have a software that's installed on your computer. However, so currently that software is available for Mac, Linux, and Windows. Okay. However, what can happen is that, let's say you want to take your keyboard onto another computer, onto a phone, for example, correct? You can use that software and it'll be able to upload all of the stuff onto the computer. So it might not be able to do all of its functions, like all of the AI functions, and be able to give you all of the recommendations, but it'll have all of the basic necessities and also have some of your AI action keys that it made still living on the keyboard.
Shamit, first of all, your mom and I were talking this morning, and we were just chuckling about the fact that you had her sign an NDA at 15 years old. I thought that was funny. I had the similar question around the AI, but let me start with this one first. How did you select the business name, Halo Keys?
That's a great question. So I think, Halo, you think of light, right? And I think this is like the next dream, the next generation of keyboards. And I'll also give a little credit to my brother. He definitely played a role in helping me select that name. But yeah, that's how I came up with Halo Keys.
Excellent. You talked about the AI. I want to talk a little bit more about the product and the usability. This feels a bit heavy. Is the idea that I'm going to just keep this at the office, or is your vision to maybe think about how we could go more mobile? Like I carry my iPad everywhere, right? But It's a lot lighter than this. Tell us a little bit about your vision there.
Yeah, that's a great question. So with this keyboard, we're targeting really that custom mechanical keyboard community, and this allows us to get a lot of feedback and learn and create better products. And so I think this is a great opportunity to really grow my business in having potentially, a wireless low-weight keyboard, or having other input devices that we can kind of grow into. So I really think there's a large scope of growth where we can transfer some of this technology into a new product line.
Sumit, one of the extraordinary qualities about entrepreneurship is seeing problems that others don't see and having the ability to fix it. And so when you had mentioned that Keyboards, they're usually not top priority in terms of people's areas of focus. Why was this so important to you when you saw that there was an opportunity to make keyboards better?
Yeah, so during COVID-19, I spent a lot of time, we were spending a lot of time at home, virtual and on our computers. So when you're using your computer, you're also using your keyboard more. And so when using my keyboard over a long period of time, I was one of those people that was using these creative softwares like Blender, like Photoshop. And I found that there was a large inefficiency in my workflow in terms of how I was using my keyboard. And when I went online and interacted with this custom mechanical keyboard community, I found that there were other people who felt the exact same way. And this is where I conducted those surveys in which I had more than 1,000 people respond on some of the surveys, and they were addressing those exact same problems as they were facing those.
So my question is, how much does it cost you to make one of these? How much do you sell it for? And what's the average cost of a non-smart keyboard?
Yeah, so it costs around $126 to make the keyboard, and that's on what we call low volume, high margin orders. So I'm only making for the first deployment 50 of these. So it costs $126, and I sell them for $300. And our goal is to eventually expand into that lower market of regular keyboards. But even looking at some of the higher end regular keyboards, Corsair, Razer, that people use for gaming, the top of the line ones easily reach $200, $250. And going into your more regular keyboard market, I think that's a great opportunity for us to grow and really utilize the software in keyboards that your average person can use.
What made you put the HK on the keys?
Yeah, so
I'm all about visuals.
Yeah, so this is the PCB. And so with your custom mechanical keyboard, like I said, these guys like to tweak around their keyboard. They like to, unscrew it, get underneath, place their own switches. And so I think part of building a brand is building really a visual element that really goes with your brand. So down to even this is the internal PCB that lies inside of the keyboard, even down to there, we created really a unique experience so that users feel like they're part of that Halo Keys brand the entire time.
Shamit, let's talk about performance a little bit. If I was a potential investor, obviously performance is key. You showed an operating loss in 2023 of $1,500. What do you see yourself doing in 2024 and beyond?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So with that $5,000 grant, I felt comfortable placing that order of the first 50 keyboards because we had strong market support. 60% of those keyboard enthusiasts on the polls showed a strong intent to buy. And so right now we have 14 committed orders, but we have 36 that will be ready to sell the second the manufacturing is completed and it's shipped here. But on top of that, for 2024, we project that we'll hopefully manufacture another batch and get around $12,000 in earnings from this first batch, and then keep kind of growing from there.
So those are orders that are already in the works, that first batch?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. And so do you see yourself earning a profit this year, or do you think it'll take you another year or two to get
Oh, no, absolutely. We see a profit this year. In fact, early in the, maybe in Q2, we should be able to see a profit once those first keyboards roll in and we're able to kind of keep selling them. And then we're also talking with other distribution partners. So I'm talking so that we can possibly also sell it in, Europe and Asia and lower those shipping costs.
Where are they being manufactured?
So they're being manufactured in China currently. So I have two manufacturers. The PCB manufacturer, they ship it over, so they manufacture the PCB that has a relatively lower lead time, and then they ship it over to the metals manufacturer, so they do CNC and kind of aluminum laser cutting. And so they ship it over to the aluminum manufacturing, and then they package it all and ship it over seas to me, and then I distribute it here in the US. But eventually, again, I'd like to set up those other distribution channels so that we can get those at cheaper costs to the customers.
How big is the market for keyboards? How many are sold every year?
Yeah, so looking at the mechanical keyboard market, it's growing rapidly. By 2032, it's projected to hit a $5 billion market cap. So there's a lot of potential for this industry to grow. And again, with my company, we're looking beyond just the keyboard market. Eventually, we want to target other input devices and really integrate this into like a full software, a full suite. And so I think there's a lot of potential, even just beyond keyboards, to be able to grow this company.
And who's your targeted audience? So when you're marketing, who are you targeting?
Yeah, so for this first batch run, we're targeting the custom mechanical keyboard market. Like I said, they're able to give lots of quick and easy feedback that allows me to just improve the performance of my keyboards. And then from there, I'm also going to target a more general market, including, gamers, including creators, and really lots of these computer power users. And hopefully that can get into that market, and that should be able to make a large splash there.
Yeah, because what I love about this is that it's got both B2B and B2C opportunities. So thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks so much. It's a great product. Very exciting.
Thank you.
And you are a great speaker.
Yes.
You did a great job.
Well done.
Amazing job.
And you look good.
I'll always take that compliment. Thank you so much,
All right,
guys.
thanks. Good luck to you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Wow, keyboards can be cool. Thank you, Schmidt. I am now honored to present our last finalist, John Vale.
There's an old saying, imitation is art. 18-year-old John Vale from Trempealeau in western Wisconsin has spent hundreds of hours trying his best to sound like something else.
It looks like a legit sculpture, and it's art. It's like a woodwind instrument as well, so it's pretty fascinating.
The avid outdoorsman is often happiest near the water. It's only fitting a decision to start his own business is centered around something he likes to do most.
I make duck calls, waterfowl equipment, and slings.
In 2022, Only Limits arrived on scene. The outdoor outfitter and lifestyle brand sells products online and through word of mouth. The business is centered around the product most difficult to make, his custom duck calls. Take hours to make after months of frustration.
So it took about 7 months to get my first tone board made to the sound that I wanted it. So, and then my style of call just took a couple months, probably 2 or 3, before I got the outer shape of it. It's just the sound that took a long time to dial in.
Not bad for someone who says he's self-taught.
Bottom line, you were just so curious enough that it was just YouTube and the internet that you decided I'm going to take a crack at this myself?
Yeah. So there's not much on how to produce a sound. People will tell you at all. So it's a lot of trial and error.
Only Limits appears to be hitting the right tune. Several products are sold out, and Vale says he's busier than ever. The hockey player and high school senior says it's his competitive spirit that drives his business.
I honestly love duck hunting itself and waterfowl hunting in general, and I have a little bit of a competitive edge, so it's fun to just kind of push myself and try to beat other people that are within the industry.
His success has plucked him a new prize for his hard work. Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live finalist.
It's been super surprising so far, and what's crazy is it's just, compared to other people, my business is super small, but it's a lot of fun, no doubt about it.
With his success, he might need a new name.
My curiosity just keeps me pushing sometimes and creating new designs and stuff. I'd like to see how this goes for the rest of my life. I know it's going to go somewhere.
From Only Limits to No Limits. Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
Hello, my name is John Vale. I own a small waterfowl company that's located in Trempealeau, Wisconsin that is named Only Limits. I make custom calls, Texas rigs, slings, and jerk cords. I also have a merchandise line as well. Duck calls are woodwind instruments that are designed to attract waterfowl. Texas rigs are designed to keep our decoys from floating off. My slings are designed to be lightweight and packable for carrying your firearm. And this is what it'll look like when you're carrying it. So here's the sling, and then once you get to your spot, you switch them out, and then you use a timber strap. They're both sold separately. Now, I'm going to show you why duck calls are woodwind instruments. I'll be running a routine, and it's going to be a quacks, hails, and then a feeder call. those are some main calls that you'll be using while you're hunting, and some very popular cadences. I started Only Limits in December 2022. I had a bunch of stuff breaking on me, so I decided to create my own. I started with Texas rigs. I noted Texas rigs were more of an accessory item than a mainline product. So I did a little research and I chose calls as my mainline product. And it took about 7 months before I was able to get the sound that I desired. And since then I've been entering into calling competitions, and it's been solidifying the quality of my call. And there's one of the ribbons that I won in one of my recent competitions in October. For distribution of my products, I use an online store that is run through GoDaddy. My future plans for this business are to upgrade the merchandise line by adding additional hats and clothing. And I'm currently in the process of designing a call that will be made through CNC, so for more mass production. And I plan on using Facebook ads to help funnel people to my site for sales. Revenue through my online store last year was $2,286.33, a total profit of $941.98. I plan on running this business for the rest of my life. Besides running my business during waterfowl season, I'll donate harvested ducks to a local university for scientific study. So far, there's been 4 papers published on the parasites that have been found in their guts.
Well, John, congratulations. What a great product and a great company you've got started. You should be very proud. So has this only been about 5 months of sales? You said it took 7 months from last.
Yes. So people will build up what their kind of like their product during the summer months, as people get more in the mindset of hunting, and I missed that opportunity because I was working on my calls. So mainly my sales were done in the last 5 months.
How big is the duck call market?
It's actually fairly big. There's a bunch of different call makers. The biggest one so far, in my opinion, is RNT. That's just a huge call company. There's also a bunch of smaller call makers that help everyone out too, and a bunch of young kids as well.
Have you looked at patenting the device to protect your intellectual property?
No, I have not.
How long does it take you to make one now that you've got it down and have your prototype?
So for shaping the wood, we get a square block, and then you have to cut it. It takes about an hour to get the square block into in a circle shape, so it's like a tube. And then it takes about another hour and a half to make the insert and barrel. This is the insert and this is the barrel, just to get the shapes. And then it takes about another hour for sanding and finishing. And then for tuning the call, it can take up to 2 hours to even 10 minutes. It just depends on the call, and there's a bunch of variability to it.
So to piggyback off of Jennifer's question, because that was the first thing that stood out to me from a supply chain standpoint, your piece components, raw materials, and then of course, obviously the manufacturing process. I love the fact that you have the e-commerce platform. I'm just wanting to know more about what it takes to get to that point. So you said, where were you in the video? In the lab?
Yes, that was my basement. That was our basement shop.
Okay, so that's where you make the call. And how long does it take again, the total time?
It takes about an hour to shape it, an hour and 30 to make the barrel and insert shape, about an hour to sand it down and finish it, and then it depends on the tuning. It could be 10 minutes to 2 hours.
So if there was an opportunity to streamline any of those phases, in the manufacturing process, where would you invest the most money?
That would be in the CNC calls that I was talking about in the speech, because I could get it shaped, and I could, as far as the production goes, I could just get the basic shape and have it already finished, and I would just have to cut it, which would be the tuning part from 10 minutes to 2 hours, and it would cut the production time.
Thank you.
Hey, John. First of all, I got to say, I'm a city guy, and if you were to ask me about outdoors 10 years ago, I would have had no clue. But when I moved to Wisconsin and living in Lake Country, I've been more curious and more exposed. And in fact, my CFO is asking me to go duck hunting and pheasant hunting with him. So this is all new experiences for me. So your timing is perfect. The demonstration I thought was great, and congrats on winning the recognition there. Let's talk a little bit about sales. You talked about the duck calls being your main line, and it is 35% of your total sales in the last 5 months. But I see that you also have merchandising that makes up 34% of your overall sales. So tell us a little bit about where merchandising comes into all of this. And then secondly, what do you predict to do in sales in 2024?
So for merchandise, a bunch of my buddies buy, and that's how it got to the 34%. Besides my buddies and family members buying it, it was
absolutely.
You
got to start with them first, right?
Yeah, and they support me very much, and they love everything that I do, and well, I'm predicting roughly about probably close to the same revenue, about 3,000.
3,000 this year?
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with Al. I was like, I've never had such an infatuation and interest until now. So how are you expanding in terms of marketing to maybe some underserved areas that, like Al said, I'm new, I'm urban, but I'm new to living in more, areas where this is popular. How do you reach out to those individuals? Because you have, again, a great e-commerce platform.
So far, my Instagram has been more like an out-of-state reach, and Facebook has been more local. So I would like to use Facebook more because of the local market and people knowing my name more.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Roughly 500 on Instagram. And then I'm not sure on Facebook, but it's right around 100, I believe.
So John, I may be a city girl now, but I actually went to high school and college in the same city where you go to school. So I'm fairly familiar with the culture around hunting and fishing and outdoor sports and recreation. Can you talk about how you might expand from sort of duck calls and equipment to other types of equipment that outdoor enthusiasts like to use?
Yes. So my niche that I kind of want to focus on is the duck hunting community, and I would like to get into decoys or like a jacket later on down the line.
That's great.
To expand.
What was it that you didn't like about the duck calls that you had that you've solved for?
So, it's my opinion, but calls for each person has their own opinion on calls, and I just couldn't find one that I really liked. And I was always changing brands, trying out different ones. So I just, after doing a little research, I started making calls. And I make the call that I like, so it's been good.
How much does one sell for?
It depends on the call, custom ones. So this one right here sold for $135, and then this one I made for my sister, but I would sell it for more like $210 because of just how much time it takes to make it.
Are people typically buying them for themselves or as a gift for somebody?
Normally for themselves or sometimes a gift. It just kind of depends on the person.
You talked earlier about the market, and it sounds like there's other vendors out there selling similar products. What makes yours different? Is it the design? Is it the materials that you're putting into it? Tell us a little bit about how you're differentiating yourself.
Well, I differentiate myself by the design of mine, and I'm getting into better packaging, which will also help differentiate my product from other people's. And my design, I like to use a lot of wood. So instead of using a band that's made out of metal, I'll use a wood band with aluminum spacing both the woods.
Are those products, they're typically durable? What's the lifespan? I'm sure how often you use it will determine that, but is this something that will last forever, or do I need to replenish that every 5-10 years if I'm an avid duck hunter?
If you take care of it and you don't throw it at the wall or throw it at the floor, it will last a lifetime. You may need to get it retuned every once in a while, which would just be changing out your cork or the reed.
So what you're saying is that I should buy multiple early on, because I'll probably be throwing mine against the wall just because I'm new to the sport, and I'll have some frustration. So appreciate the tip on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want the people that throw it up against the wall because that's more inventory turn and sales. Yeah, we don't want the lifetime. We want throw it against the wall. We'll get you another one.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, John. We're really proud of what you've done. You should feel good about the accomplishments you've made so far, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well done.
Wow, what a way to end our finalist pitches. You know, instead of duck calling, you could use these as our judges were joking to wake up your spouse, maybe your kids. Multifaceted there, right? That'll get you out of bed. What amazing stories we have heard today, and we thank you for sharing your businesses with us and your spirited mind. It's been great. Our judges, boy, they got a lot of work ahead. They've got to make that decision for the winner of the $10,000 scholarship. We don't envy them, right? So many great ideas. We're going to be back with them in just a bit. But in the meantime, with the conclusion of our final presentation, I'd like to draw your attention one final time to the event chat. Now, here I ask that you vote for the finalist you feel is worthy for the Viewer's Choice Award sponsored by Baker Tilly. Again, this person will earn an additional $500 cash prize. Let's hear from our Viewer's Choice Award sponsor, Baker Tilly.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Anderson, Managing Partner of Growth Strategies at Baker Tilly. On behalf of Baker Tilly, I'm pleased to join you as sponsor of the Viewer's Choice Award for the Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live competition. Being a leader at Baker Tilly means advocating and inspiring the way forward and turning vision into reality. Our leaders are stewards of our clients, our people, our communities, and our profession. We know all these characteristics and many more are some of the most important and valuable traits in successful entrepreneurs as well. We're pleased to support the incredibly inspiring young entrepreneurs before us today. Congratulations to all our finalists and happy voting.
What an incredible mission we are able to be a part of through today's event. Don't you feel honored to be aboard? Feel smarter? I know I do, at least inspired. It's our hope that through the young entrepreneurs that you've seen today, you're going to be inspired and encouraged to help all of our youth find the boundless possibilities within them. In addition to those sponsors, we've heard from some already, we want to thank all the sponsors who have made this event possible. That includes Baker Tilly, BMO, Crescent Grove Advisors, Douglas Dynamics, Educators Credit Union, EY, Heartland Advisors, Johnson Controls, Johnson Financial Group, M&M Interiors, PS Capital Partners, Rockwell Automation, Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. And a special thank you also goes to, well, our media sponsor, Fox 6 Milwaukee. We appreciate your viewership, as well as our public relations partner, Belter and Lincoln. We also have one final message for you from our event sponsor, EY, and when we return, we're going to announce today's winner. Are you nervous? I am. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Leslie Plowman, partner at EY. On behalf of EY, I'm pleased to join you once again as a sponsor of the Junior Achievement Young Entrepreneur Live competition. For over 30 years, EY has had its own Entrepreneur of the Year program, which recognizes the endeavors of the exceptional men and women who create the products and services that keep our worldwide economy moving forward. Our program is global and touches nearly 60 countries with amazing stories year after year of successful entrepreneurs. The really neat thing for all of us here to know is that the Global EY Entrepreneur of the Year program started right here in our Milwaukee, Wisconsin office. Building something of long-term value takes grit, persistence, and a sense of ambition that is free of doubt or fear. We are thrilled to showcase the fine men and women here today who amplify these qualities. On behalf of EY, congratulations to all of this year's finalists.
All right, everybody, you ready? It's now the time we've been waiting for. Let's check back in with our judges to hear their decision.
Thank you, Mary. If there is one thing that we can agree on today, it's that we've all been truly inspired by the next generation of entrepreneurs we have before us. What an incredible showcase of our youth that has been on display today. Now, the judges were asked to evaluate each entrepreneur and business on a variety of factors, including their current business success and growth potential, their financial viability, social involvement, the entrepreneur's hustle, and true passion for their product or service. And what a display we've seen of all of these incredible young entrepreneurs. Ultimately, the judging panel has selected Shamit Sarana of Halo Keys, the winner of the Junior Achievement of Wisconsin 2024 Young Entrepreneur Live Competition. Congratulations, Shamit, on your $10,000 scholarship. I think I speak for all of us when we say we can't wait to see where you go. Thank you and congratulations.
All right, everybody, the big moment. We want to present our $10,000 award to today's big winner, Shamit Sarana. We're going to bring him up on the stage. Sans Keyboard, you can't have that and take this big check too. Congratulations, young man.
Congratulations.
Everybody is really a winner today. We want to call up our finalists to receive their certification too, because these are the minds of the future, I'm telling you. Let's start with Truman McNitt. Come on up.
Congratulations, Truman.
Congratulations on your sweet success.
Nice job.
All right. And next we have John Vale. Sans Duckhorn.
Congratulations, John.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well
Good
done.
job. And last but certainly not least, the lovely and beautiful Kaylee Lamers. Great job.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of you guys. You are winners and you're inspiring even us old folks. You've done a great job today. It was delightful to have you with us. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We know that we've inspired you and encouraged all these great minds out there. Great to have you along for another year of junior achievers making strides in their communities. So with this, let's get those ideas fired up for next year, because we're going to be back and we'll see you then. Great to have you along. Thanks for joining us.